My sister said she was happy, but I already knew she wasn't. Not because she told me. Not because she slipped up. Because I saw something she thought no one noticed. It was small, so small most people would ignore it. But I didn't. I never do. It happened at dinner. Nothing special. Just family. Just conversation. Just the version of her life everyone believed. She was smiling. Laughing. Telling the same stories she always told. Perfect house. Perfect husband. Perfect life. That word again, perfect. People love that word. They don't question it. They repeat it. They protect it. And my sister, she lived inside it. Comfortably. Carefully. But that night when her husband spoke, she paused. Just for a second. Barely visible. But it was there. That hesitation. That quiet check. Like she needed permission before she answered. That was it. That was the moment. Not dramatic. Not obvious. But enough. Enough for me to know something wasn't right. I didn't say anything. Not then. Not at the table. Not in front of anyone. Because once you question perfect, you don't just change the story. You break it. And I needed to be sure. I'm sharing this on Exposed Stories Media because sometimes the truth doesn't come from what people say. It comes from what they hesitate to say. My name is Ethan. I'm her younger brother. The one people underestimate. The one who notices things after everyone else stops looking. My sister, Rachel, was always ahead of me. Smarter. More confident. More visible. She didn't just enter rooms. She controlled them. People listened to her. Followed her, trusted her. That's why her marriage made sense. At least on the surface. Her husband, Daniel, fit perfectly into that world. Successful, structured, controlled. He worked in finance. Private clients, quiet money, the kind that doesn't get attention but controls everything. My parents admired him. My relatives respected him. And Rachel, she defended him. Every time. He's just private. He's just focused. He's just different. That's what she said. And for a long time I believed her. Because nothing looked wrong. That's how these things work. Everything looks fine until you start looking closer. Rachel used to talk about everything. Plans. Decisions. Money. Future. She liked control. Liked knowing. Liked leading. Then slowly that changed. Not suddenly. Gradually. Almost invisible. She stopped talking about finances. Stopped making decisions out loud. Stopped explaining things. And replaced all of it with one sentence. Daniel handles that. At first it sounded normal. Then it sounded repetitive. Then it sounded wrong. But I didn't push. Not yet. Because people don't open up when they feel watched. They open up when they feel safe. And Rachel didn't feel safe. I started watching more closely. Not aggressively. Just consistently. At family events I watched how they interacted. Rachel adjusted herself around him. Not in a submissive way. In a calculated way. Like she was managing reactions. Managing outcomes. That's not love. That's control. Daniel never raised his voice. Never argued publicly. Never embarrassed her. That's what made it harder to see. Because control doesn't need volume. It needs consistency. One night I stopped by their house. Unplanned. Daniel wasn't home. That mattered. Rachel opened the door. Surprised. But not uncomfortable. That was new. We sat in the kitchen. Talking about nothing. Work. Family. Random things. Then I asked. Simple. Careful. You doing okay? She smiled. That same smile. Always the same. I'm happy. I nodded. I know. That confused her. What do you mean? I looked at her. I know what you say. Pause. Then I added, I just don't think it's true. Silence. Real silence. Not awkward. Heavy. She looked away. First time. That mattered. I'm fine, she said. Different word. Same meaning. Different truth. I didn't push further. Because she wasn't ready. But now I knew I wasn't wrong. A few days later I saw something. Not on her phone. Not directly. In her email, she asked me to help her print something. A document. Routine. Simple. But when I opened the inbox, I saw it. A notification. From a bank. Not their main account. A different one. I didn't open it immediately. Just read the preview. Transfer completed. Large amount. Structured reference. Not personal. Not casual. Professional. Hidden. That's when everything changed. I opened it. Just enough. Accounts I didn't recognize. Entities I didn't know. And one thing that stood out immediately. Her name. Attached. But not in control. Used. Positioned. Like part of something she didn't fully understand. I printed the document, closed the email, and said nothing, because now this wasn't a feeling. This was structure. The confrontation didn't happen that day. It couldn't. Not yet. Because truth without preparation gets dismissed. So I waited. And I prepared. I traced what I could. Public records. Entity names. Connections. Patterns. Nothing illegal on the surface. That's how it works. But the structure was clear. Money moved through layers. Through entities. Through positions. And Rachel was inside it. Without control. That's the danger. Not theft. Exposure. I went back to her house. This time at night. Daniel was home. We sat in the living room. Quiet. Controlled. I didn't speak first. Rachel did. We need to talk. Her voice was different. Steady. Not defensive. That surprised him. What about? He asked. She looked at him. My name. Silence. Then she continued. What are you using it for? That was a moment. No confusion. No softness. Direct. Daniel leaned back. Calm. Too calm. You don't understand the structure. There it was. That line. I spoke. Then explain it. He looked at me. Sharp. You shouldn't be involved. Rachel didn't look at me. She looked at him. I'm involved. That changed everything. He shifted. Slightly. Not panic. Adjustment. It's protection. He said. For us. For you. Rachel didn't react. Am I exposed? Pause. He didn't answer. That was enough. Everything broke right there. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just truth. She stood up. Slow. Controlled. You used me. Not a question. A statement. He exhaled. This is how it works. No apology. No denial. Just justification. That was his mistake. Because in that moment he chose the system over her. The aftermath was quiet. Structured. Real. Rachel didn't argue. Didn't scream. She acted. Accounts frozen. Documents requested. Legal review initiated. Control taken back. That's what he didn't expect. He thought she didn't understand. That she wouldn't act. That she wouldn't question. He was wrong. They separated. Not publicly. Not dramatically. Just distance. The family didn't understand. Because nothing exploded. No scandal. No collapse. Just truth. And truth doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it just removes the illusion. Rachel changed. Not into someone new. Into someone real. She asked questions again. Made decisions again. Controlled her life again. That mattered more than anything. If there's one thing I learned, it's this. The most dangerous lies don't sound like lies. They sound like stability. Like safety. Like someone telling you don't need to worry. My sister said she was happy. And maybe part of her believed it. But I knew the truth. Not because she told me. Because I saw it. In the silence. In the hesitation. In the things she stopped saying. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. No matter how much you wish you never knew.